This murder is a decades-old mystery. Today we will go through this mystery and figure out once and for all what happened to Johnny Big Shot. The following is evidence from the case. How was he killed? After a quick assessment of the scene, the forensic anthropologist concluded that he died from internal bleeding. Also, the toilet and sink were completely busted. This led the detectives to believe that an explosion had occurred. Why he was killed, this is not known. When was he killed? It is concluded that since it was 9:30 p.m. when Lady arrived, and it took 30 minutes to arrive at the scene, that it occurred at around 8:55 p.m. Who killed him? Since there was a lady's footprint in the explosive's gunpowder, it is suspected that the victim made it. Here's a theorist's manuscript regarding the case.
It was about 9:30 p.m. on August 16, 1943, when an explosion rang out across the city. The detective sat in his office, unmoved. At around 10 o'clock p.m., a female in her mid-20s and very pretty busted into his office. She wore a very tight blue dress and blue kitten heels. I was at a house party with my husband. Something exploded and it killed him, she screamed. The detective slowly stood up and put on his coat. Ma'am, would you take me to where it happened? He calmly said. She ran out of his office in distress, and he struggled to follow at her rate. As they walked down the previously full streets, he asked her if she knew who did it. I swear, I don't know, she shouted. After this interaction, he grew increasingly suspicious of this female character. After all, he could occasionally smell gunpowder in the air. It was around 10:30 p.m. when they reached the previously joyful spot. They came through the door and walked about the foyer. He visually surveyed every partygoer and saw no one except men. He was next guided to the room of the explosion, the guest restroom. There he is, the lady said surprisingly mellowly. The husband's body was splayed on the floor right outside the guest restroom. Blood was flowing from his mouth, likely caused by internal injury. The detective identified the body as the town multimillionaire. That was the reason that he would be assassinated. The porcelain sink and toilet were completely shattered. As he neared the spot of the used explosive, he noted that the explosive in question was very sloppily made. It likely could only have injured someone near it. Loose, unreacted gunpowder surrounded the explosive. He found his first clue, footprints in the scattered gunpowder. The footprint belonged to a lady's heel. This caused a high suspicion, given that the female he had helped just moments ago was the only lady there. Given the evidence, he investigated the lady further. Her hands were completely covered in gunpowder, and she also had gunpowder particles on her face that she had tried to conceal with makeup. On the way to the police station, the lady begged and pleaded to be let go. She made up excuses such as I broke a flower pot and tried to pick up the dirt, and I was baking a cake and got molasses on my face, but the detective saw through those weak excuses. She spent the night in a jail cell. The next morning, the detective began fierce interrogation. The lady kept denying the accusations and used the same excuses she used the night before. When the detective threatened her with execution, she confessed. She said that she planted the explosive to end an abusive marriage. That was a lie. He lavishly showered her with gifts. When the detective asked her why she didn't get a divorce, she admitted that she also wanted his life insurance claim.